And looking up at the call screener, it says Naheem McLeod is right here. So I guess that answers that question, if Naheem's going to be on the show. I suppose we should welcome in now the newest member of the Syracuse Orange basketball team. Naheem McLeod is joining us. Naheem, welcome in, and congrats on your decision. Thanks for coming on for a few minutes.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
All right, so Naheem McLeod is with us. So where in the world are you right now? Are you at FSU? Or are you at home in Philly? Where are you right now?
I'm home in Philadelphia.
Okay, so take me through this process. What was it like for you going into the portal and coming to this decision?
At first it was hard for me to leave Florida State just because, I've been there for 2 years. And, I love the coaching staff, the environment that Florida State had. And then I was like, the winning is not, something that's culture Florida State has been accustomed to the last 2 years. We've having 2 down years, and I was like, man, I got to get out of here and be better for myself. So I went to the portal, talk to the coaches. And then I went to Syracuse, my first visit. I fell in love, and I was like, still in the ACC. I ain't got nothing to lose.
I think we've seen that a lot, right? Players have an ability. They transfer to other schools in the league they're in, right? Like, the league. You know what you're getting into. You've played against Syracuse before. In fact, you played very well against Syracuse last year. How much did that intrigue you that you still got to be in the ACC to play basketball for the rest of your career?
It was a blessing, At first, you didn't know what schools reaching out with conference, and then, all conferences, reached out, and then ultimately I decided I wanted to stay in the ACC. That's why I was most comfortable, and then I was just like, you know what, Syracuse it is.
And it's been amazing, Naheem. And Naheem McLeod, the newest member of the Syracuse Orange basketball team, is joining us. Announced his commitment on Twitter about 4 hours ago today, that he's on his way to the Cuse next year. I think what we've seen in the portal, Naheem, like, if you are a center like you are, you get flooded with communication in the portal. How many teams reached out for you? What was that initial stage like when you put your name in?
I would say the first day I had about 33 teams reach out. And, a lot of them offered and trying to get me on campus right away. And, I wasn't finished with my finals yet. So I waited till I was done finals, came home, first visit Syracuse, set it up, say, yo, I'm not going to nearly school. Syracuse is where it's at.
Yeah, the only official visit you took. What was it about Syracuse and Red Autry in particular that intrigued you about wanting to come here?
I think it was just, the environment, the culture, the players had around me. His vision for me is to, come in, be very productive, and work my way up. Nothing's promised. So, and also he's a really down-to-earth guy off the court. We spent a lot of time talking about life, not just basketball. So, that really reeled me in right there.
Naheem McLeod is with us, the newest Orange basketball player coming in out of the portal. And, this transfer portal, obviously, Naheem, it's become a big thing. Like in the past, transferring, it's a whole process, and you got to sit out and the whole thing. Being able to hop in like this, how easy, I guess, was the process to go through, where you put your name in, the teams reach out? I mean, this didn't really take that long in the grand scheme of things for you to decide you were leaving and then find a new place to go.
Yeah, it was, rather easy for me. As far as, I was like, I don't really want to leave, but, I'm just better for myself and my future. So, Syracuse was right on board. I think there was a second school that called me. And, I listened to, every school. Every school had pretty much the same thing to say. Syracuse was like, no, we plan to do this with you, this, that, and the third. And I was like, you know what? We're talking different. I don't like that.
All right, Naheem with us now. Naheem, I got to ask you, there was some of the reporting when you were up here for your official visit now, what was it, a week and a half ago or so, that you actually got to meet with, of all people, Jesse Edwards, who left in the portal. He said it for West Virginia. What was that meeting like, and how strange was it, I guess, or interesting that you got to talk to the old center about what you're going to do in his spot next year?
Jesse's a very cool guy. Even when we played Syracuse last year at Florida State, me and Jesse was talking the whole game. And, we talked about, after we got done, we talked about I was leaving and, how good I would be for Syracuse Orange. So it was pretty much like, he was like, yo, like, if you need anything, wow, I'm there in town. I got you. Don't worry. If you ever need something, you can just hit me up. So Jesse's a pretty cool guy.
And as you know, Naheem, what we spend much of our time talking about around here, or at least have for the last few decades, is man versus zone. You, personally, were able to rip up the zone a little bit back down in Tallahassee this year. You had one of your best games of your career. What have you been told about playing man or playing zone this upcoming season?
Mixture. It could be both. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, because I'd say 7-4 in the middle of the zone probably looks pretty good, but I'm sure you'll be out there for a little bit of each. We see in your Twitter bio, you've got the nickname the Big Duke in there. Should we be calling you the Big Duke? Is that what you go by?
People just call me Duke. It's not because of Duke University. It's not that. It's like the dog Mama Duke. People say I like that dog, so I just took the mama out and just kept the name Duke. So I'm a big human being, so I just put Big Duke together and just came out with that name.
Okay, of all of the things, Naheem, that you could have said on the planet that led to that nickname, coming it off of the Marmaduke comic, that is probably the last thing I would have guessed. That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll call you Big Duke, but you're right. We can't call you Duke. It's got to be weird for you a little if your nickname is Duke that you are playing in the same league with Duke, yes?
So, we were playing the ACC game last year at Florida State, and I think it was Syracuse. And the whole game, they called me Duke McLeod. They didn't say Naheem McLeod at all. They said Duke McLeod every time I did something. And that, ironically, was my best game.
All right. So, hey, if it works, if that's what works, that's what we're going to go with, because it was your best game. So if that's what we got to do, we'll suck it up. We'll call you Duke if it's going to lead up to the good things. All right, Naheem, take us through. I mean, you just made this official decision today. Do you know, when you're getting up here or what your schedule's like going forward?
I'll be on campus July 4th. So, they told me summer school starts July 5th. I'm going to stay home, keep working out, get my body right.
All right.
And then go up there July 4th.
All right, Naheem, great to chat with you for a few here today. Congrats on the decision, and we look forward to seeing you up here. Thanks for coming on for a few.
All right, appreciate you.
That is Naheem McLeod, the Big Duke, named after Marmaduke, the comic dog. Man, that was of all of the list of the 8 million things in the world I could have ever guessed, that was the reason for that nickname. On the list of times we've said Big Duke out loud in the last couple of weeks, Marmaduke had not once ever crossed my brain. Fun guy. I think we're going to like the Big Duke. Good personality. We like it. Thanks so much for Naheem hopping on in short notice. With that, we got to get to break. We're keeping our guy Quint Kasnick waiting. Quint's shorter than the Big Duke. Definitely. So are most people on Earth. Naheem is 7'4". We'll talk to Quint Kasnick a little lax when we come back after this. It's QSportsTalk.com and ESPN Radio.